Hi, I'm First Alert meteorologist Melanie Layden. Welcome to First Alert Weather Plus, where we talk about all things weather. And today we're talking about Hurricane Erin. It's been our first named hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season, and it already at one point was our first major hurricane. It's kind of been fluctuating in size and strength over the last several days, but at one point it was a Category 5 storm, now down to a Category 2. It has not made landfall just yet, but it is expected to skim along the eastern coastline here of the U.S., and we'll talk about if it will impact us here in Middle Tennessee, as we have seen in years past with other hurricanes. But over the next coming days, some of the U.S. will be seeing some impacts from Erin. So let's dive right into it. You're looking here on the screen at the latest path of Erin, and I'll take this full so you get a better look at it. You can see here that, as I mentioned, now a Category 2 storm, but expected to become a major hurricane again tomorrow into a Category 3. And the reason why is she really is just kind of chugging along that very warm Atlantic Ocean water. And what causes a hurricane to really thrive and strengthen and grow is that warm ocean water. It's getting a lot of it. And, as you know, it's been so hot this summer. The ocean water temperature is really no different, very hot. And we're really kind of in the peak of that hurricane season, where August, September, and October are the main months where we typically see the most activity. As we head into tomorrow, there's going to be a couple of areas here along the U.S. coastline that will be impacted by Erin. I will say, though, that Nashville and Middle Tennessee are not going to be impacted by this storm. It's really going to be along the beaches of North Carolina and Virginia. By tomorrow morning into the afternoon, most likely peak time afternoon to early evening for them, they will be impacted by heavy rainfall, storm surge, and even some tropical force winds. But here in the Midstate, we're going to stay dry from anything related to Erin, at least. We'll get a couple of humidity-fueled showers and storms, but nothing from the hurricane, at least. You can see here as she takes her path, kind of, again, going along the East Coast, not exactly making landfall by any means, but you can see here the latest path takes her way out into the ocean. She will lose strength into a Category 1, and then eventually just a tropical depression as she heads further out. Luckily, this one not making landfall anywhere, but still going to bring a lot of rain, a lot of storm surge, and as I mentioned, some tropical force winds as well to a few areas along the beaches of places like North Carolina and Virginia. I will say latest kind of news from areas out that way are that they had the double red flags up. They are ordering people not to go into the water because these waves along these beaches are just so strong and so intense. The rip currents, of course, are very dangerous. And there are several counties throughout North Carolina that already have issued warnings from police and Coast Guard that this will be a misdemeanor if you get into the water, because you're not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting these lifeguards at risk too that will have to jump in and save you. So they are putting it out now. They are not messing around. If you get into the water, you will be charged with essentially a crime. A lot of areas along those beaches of North Carolina and Virginia kind of bracing for some of the worst, I guess you could say, of Erin, of her impacts. And again, it's going to be that storm surge with very strong waves and dangerous rip currents, kind of really the main things we're looking out for. I do want to mention, as I mentioned, Erin's going to kind of go off into the ocean, become a thing of the past, not really impact us too much. But we are really just now getting into the peak of hurricane season. Look at this. The National Hurricane Center currently watching 2 other areas of tropical disturbances out in the Atlantic. What you see here is a moderate chance of 2 more storms developing over the next 7 to 10 days or so. Right now, a 40 to 60% chance of development of these 2. Far too early to tell their paths, if they'll even become named storms, whether it be a tropical storm or a hurricane, but they're watching it closely. And this is really not uncommon for this time of the year. I mean, we are in the peak of hurricane season. As I mentioned earlier, August, September, and October are kind of those peak times for hurricanes. Today, we're at August 20th, so we're kind of getting right into that early September range where we see the most hurricane activity really flourish in the Atlantic. Not quite there yet, but this is kind of that time where we see not only just named storms like tropical storms, but also major hurricanes. And a major hurricane is anything that's a category 3 or higher. And Erin, at one point, was a category 5. It has weakened some, but we definitely are in that peak of when we have that very warm ocean water, and these hurricanes can really thrive and really flourish. So that is the latest with Hurricane Erin. Not going to be impacting us here in the Midstate, but definitely impacting a couple of beaches along the eastern coastline. We will keep you updated on the latest of Erin. I'll keep you updated on if any of those tropical disturbances do eventually become something. Any named storms, whether it be tropical storms or hurricanes. But in the meantime, here in the Midstate, we are hoping for some cooler weather here soon. It has been so brutally hot with another heat wave across the area. Heat advisories, feels like temperatures in the 100s. We are luckily going to see some relief in sight for us coming next week, and we'll have all the details for you coming up as soon as 3 o'clock. WSMB 4 at 3. Join us then, and for 4, 5, 6, and 10 tonight as well. Hope to see you then, and have a great day.